good morning. I'm happy to welcome you to this fourth curated workshop. We're very grateful to be in Milano and with HangarBicocca. We are here today talking, actually not today, but for 3 days, talking about performance. So we'll have the opportunity to dive into performance also through different eyes, views, approaches, and ways of thinking.
The reason why we are so happy to host this workshop is we immediately realized there was an occasion of enrichment for all our staff, and we thought that working with young artists and students, it was a big chance for this institution to really learn. So for us, it's a learning experience.
The workshop wants really to be a moment in which we are trying to promote or to move the debate about this kind of topics that maybe are not enough discussed in Italy, or maybe not thought in the way in which we want to have.
So we will go out because performance is to be also here and now, but maybe in and out of institution. Performance. Some people think it's like body action, going in and out of the institution, using an object, not making objects, spending time together, the idea of participation. And I won't remake another definition because it's not my purpose. First of all, this is not a striptease and this is not a performance. Shirt is my outfit for work. Just to present you some of the objects that I produce and that I use as a way to create a space which make me not be Marie de Brugerolle only, but Marie de Brugerolle making a performance maybe, or a presentation.
I wanted to talk about performance in the most expanded sense, out of the cultural sphere, performance attitude that was previously existing at the level of the corporate sphere is now entering day-to-day life in a very deep and kind of insidious way. So the next section is going to begin in New York in a Soul Cycle promotional video.
Rip. Find it.
So
Find it here.
You're so lucky if you don't know what Soul Cycle is. I wanted to talk about the type of performer, really, the Soul Cycle class produces, because I wanted to talk about liberalism as an economic model. It is a huge push to make all subjects act economically responsibly. Yeah, and I think while I'm talking about all of this, I'm also thinking about Soul Cycle, right? I'm also talking about this idea of constantly test yourself, measure yourself, beat your last goal, beat your last performance, and so on. A lot of the things that we do each day are kind of, let's say, time boxed like that. They have edges and ends, they are kind of knowable. And I think the Soul Cycle class is like a product, right? You know it's going to work. You know that your investment of those 45 minutes of time is going to be good for your human capital. So there's a kind of a closure of future potentials in some kind of a way, because you go straight towards the future and you know what that future is. It's like a very linear progress towards the kind of the outcome. And this to me is the kind of the limitedness of the performance economy. The world is not made up of time-boxed performance events.
So what I would argue is that what's interesting and productive about the tension that exists between institution forming within the performance is that it places the social in direct relation and movement with the formation of institutions and structures. So what if we think about performance not as a set of autonomous disciplines, but as a frame for considering broadly these interactions between artists, audiences, and institutionalism. And I think from that perspective, we can consider how these kind of interactions are kind of both physical and they are also social. They can be gestural and representational, and they can be ontological, actually embedded in the very nature of an institutional structure. So in the context of multiple subjectivities interacting with institutions, this kind of opened out, pluralized field, performance indicates both the desire for distance and the possibility of achieving this distance.